little surprised. I was little surprised that was on the left instead of down the middle. And also Nketiah had not played a couple of games, so was surprised to see him start. But uh, depending on the person or the number of minutes that these guys have played, it is understandable that both Nketiah and Jesus started. So not much of a surprise there. Again, Raya starting in front of Ramsdale. Honestly, in my opinion, I would have started Ramsdale just because it's a passionate fixture. We would like someone who is more passionate. But there's no faulting Raya today. It was
Yeah.
nothing to do with Raya being bad or anything. But yeah, the starting lineup was a little surprising, but it makes sense based on the personnel that we had.
Yeah, I think the starting 11, as you said, exactly. I wouldn't mind putting Jesus up top, and who's crisper than Nketiah with the Champions League game. And then he put up Nketiah there, and then I would have started Nelson and Jesus up top and probably benched Nketiah, just to bring him on if we need. But Arteta decided to go with that direction. That was surprising, and I agree. Actually, in the Derby game, with Ramsdale his experience in the previous 3-4 derbies that he has played for us, I would have picked experience over anything. But Raya did well. I mean, whenever he was called upon, he saved a couple of great saves. But I feel both the goals, they were just very underwhelming for us. Like we switched off, to be honest. So good goal from us. I mean, I felt the first goal was good. We created well. Saka deserved that, and I mean there was luck for us, the deflection going in. But beyond that, I felt Tottenham were more successful in doing what they came here to do. They didn't let us play to our best, abilities, and unfortunately, I feel that ended up biting us. What are your thoughts on the first half and then the two goals? So like the goal from Saka and then Son's equalizer.
Yeah, I mean, it was noticeable that Spurs wanted to play from the back. They were comfortable passing around. In fact, they were really brave, I would say, to pass around when there were so high press that we had with Nketiah, Odegaard, and Rice and Jesus coming in to block the pass. I thought at some stage, going back to the previous question, that it would have been better to switch between Nketiah and Jesus, not just have Nketiah down the middle all the time. I didn't see that much like rotation of spaces was not there. Players around spaces were not there. But yeah, definitely felt like Spurs were very comfortable. Like
Yeah.
it didn't seem like they were rushed. They were playing their passes easily. They were not creating much, but they
They,
were. It felt like they could get past our press very easily, regardless of how well we were pressing.
yeah.
Um, the first goal, like you said, uh, I think it was kind of. It didn't seem like Arsenal or Spurs were going to score. They were like just
Yeah.
battling for position. So that goal from Saka was kind of out of the blue. Like it was a
Yeah.
surprise, pleasant surprise, obviously. But Saka taking his chance and I would say aiming at Romero to score. So um, all four goals, to be honest, were either bad luck in very bad mistakes
Yeah.
or so there was no real quality. There was one good chance that Jesus had when he robbed Madison in the box.
Yep. Yep.
Should have scored. Like if there were any complaints about Arsenal today was once we went ahead, we didn't take our chances. We didn't create a
Correct.
lot of and the chances that we did create, we were not able to finish them. So
Yep.
that's that's the main story about the first half. Unfortunately, we did have a chance and we didn't score. And a few minutes later, uh, Spurs went down the other side, and Ra had to. It was a magical save. I couldn't even
Yeah,
gather how he could go back and have his hand almost behind the goal and save it.
right.
It was a really good save. And then at that period, you could feel like Spurs was coming back, like they were dominating the position. They were dominating the position in our half, not just in their half. And then that mistake from Saka letting Madison turn, and there are three or four players who were in the box marking Son, but still that goal from Son was really good, really clever. So I would
Yeah,
say
I
that is
mean,
a mistake.
yeah, again, individual errors. Saka, like gave away the ball too easily. And then, yeah, like as you said, three players were actually marking Son, and somehow he got away with that, quick 1-2, and he just slotted that. So that was like, again, we switched off glimpses of the old Arsenal. I mean, I was very disappointed that we threw away our lead, like the 1-0. And as you clearly pointed out, Nketiah missed a great chance, which he could have cut back to Fabio Vieira. Instead, he went near post, saved. And then Odegaard had a shot around the goal, and then Jesus had that clear-cut chance. That could have been the game over at that point, like before halftime. But we didn't take those chances, and then they punished us on the counter. So that was, the story of the first half. What do you think of the second half? Of course, I feel Rice's calf injury changed the dynamic, and then the person who came on for him, Jorginho, unfortunately, was he was the scapegoat, or like he was the person who unfortunately made the bad pass. And story of the second half, same. We scored, and then we conceded the next minute. Um, what did you think of that? And also, what's your comparison between Arsenal of last season versus Arsenal of this season? We do look different though, unfortunately, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the second half. The
Yeah.
substitutions, I thought it was a little early. I mean, I understand if Rice was injured, uh, getting Jorginho in was needed, was
Forced.
forced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vieira, I know he was kind of anonymous, but that was the case for most of our players. I
Right.
didn't feel like he was bad to have him substituted by Havertz. I would have let Vieira play for a little bit more, but
Yeah.
uh, definitely a call that I think uh, maybe Arteta wanted a bit more physical player in there,
Yeah.
and with Rice leaving the field, he wanted some height. Like Rice
Right.
would, and if we had Vieira and Jorginho, there would be like smaller players everywhere.
Right.
So maybe that's the reasoning behind it. But I thought I was a little surprised that Vieira came off. I didn't see a real reason why he was poor.
Yeah.
Um, Going back to the goal, I don't know what you thought. Once we got the penalty, and
Right.
that was a clear goal scoring opportunity. Like if you think from a letter of the law, if someone has actually stopped a goal, in this case Romero was literally handling the ball
Right.
from going in the net, I would have thought he should have at least got a yellow card.
A second yellow because he was already on a yellow, I think.
No, he got a yellow later on. During the
Okay.
penalty incident, I would have thought he should have got a yellow, at
Correct.
least not red. I mean, there was a player behind him, so I could understand that it is not a red card, but definitely a yellow card. He didn't get it. So that was disappointing. I mean, I don't want
From
players
a ref
to,
standpoint. Yeah.
but I thought after seeing the footage in VAR screen and giving us a penalty, I would have thought the ref would have gone and given him a yellow card also. So that was kind of surprising. But Saka scored. That was a really good penalty.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, the giveaway. I can't say anything else. It was a little baffling that our defenders are so far away. Like if you see the closest defender to Jorginho was Saliba,
Liba, yeah.
and Gabriel is almost on the left flank, so he had to cover a lot of space to come back to get in front of Son to stop him, but that would never happen. So if a midfielder loses the ball, it's 2-on-1 or
Right.
whatever. If it's just Saliba in the back, so that's pretty much what happened. So Jorginho delayed his pass and was caught on the ball. Uh, Gave the ball away to Madison. Madison passed it to Son. Although we had Saliba, we didn't have Gabriel to cover for Son, so it was an easy goal for them. It is disappointing, obviously, to give the ball away so quickly and give a
Yeah.
goal away so quickly after we scored. I would have thought that would have been a spark. The penalty kick would have been a spark for us to get to the
Go for
next
the
level.
third goal. Yeah. Yeah. It could
Yeah,
have played the game.
yeah.
Yeah. I think injuries played a part, I feel, in Arteta's, forceful hand to, like right before the game, Trossard. We already had Martinelli out, and then Trossard was forced before the starting 11, and then Rice, and also Partey being also out. So we really didn't
Mm.
have our strongest backup to Rice. We had our third choice, which was Jorginho. And I think, unfortunately, injuries has exposed us again. We are down to our bare bones again. And now, um, suddenly, I mean, we could have, I mean, we are already again, like right now, we already are 4 points behind
Mm.
City. I know it's early days, but City look, after losing their, like players like Gundogan and like their players, like Kevin De Bruyne is out, they still look like a formidable force. And if you compare last season to this season, we were what they did, and they're actually what where we are, but they look flawless this at this moment. And unfortunately, we after adding few players, we look a little underwhelming, like which is what concerns me, like long term. But what are your thoughts on that? Because and the thing is, it's not that we gave. If this was the away game, I would have still been like, that's okay. It was, away from home. But we've done the same thing against Fulham and the same thing against Tottenham. Two mistakes, and we've given two goals each. And we've conceded four goals, and we've thrown away those wins into draws, unfortunately, at home. I feel like we've gone a little. I mean, defensively, I feel we look a little shaky at the Emirates, unfortunately. So I don't know what the solution is. What are your thoughts, and what do you think Arteta should do? Next game, at least, it's a little. It's not a super like high flying game. It's against Bournemouth. What would you do in terms of like if you were Arteta taking this result, and then how are we going to convert that to the next game?
I think, I mean, it looks bad to our defense when we are conceding goals. But if you think about it, overall, we have not been assertive in any of those games that
Yeah.
we conceded back. Like even the Fulham game, even though they were 10 men,
Right.
it never felt like they were 10 men. So I feel it is still like early days, but early days as far as the season is concerned, like you said, we are 4 points away. It feels already it's a long way
It's
back,
pressure
and
on us already.
it's definitely pressure on us and other teams around Man City for certain. However, I feel I mean there has to be a little bit of maybe mental training or something that needs to be done in the training ground, because we don't take the next step. Like once we keep letting the other team back in
Right.
somehow. Like
Right.
once we
Right.
score, either we make a mistake or we give them a, a, a way to get back into the game.
Right.
I think that's something that we need to get into our psyche, that we need to start blowing these teams away. Like
Right.
keeps it takes time. Like I mean, even with Man City, even though they let go of these players, they still have their core. Like most of
Right.
their team is there. They have a couple of players they got in, like Doku, but not a
Their
lot.
spine, yeah, their spine remains consistent, like through like Ederson, Diaz, Rodri, and like as up front, Haaland, and
Mm,
a couple of players here and there who move around. They've successfully replaced them with
yeah,
Guardiola and like all those guys.
yeah.
Even though again, like if you saw yesterday's their game, yes, they did go a man down, and of course that's a positive news for us. No Rodri, no Kevin De Bruyne, and like other such players when we play Man City. But again, instead of looking at that, we ourselves are not like, we feel like we're playing in a second gear right now, as you
Mhm.
said. And the thing that bothers me is it's in the home games. If it was an away game, understandable. Like even Fulham 2 to draw away game, understandable. But we have some kind of like a block at the Emirates, and I
Mm.
think we need to get rid of that very soon because we shouldn't be conceding these type of goals. And like, if you noticed, we were very lucky. Son could have scored the third goal, which was side netting.
Mm.
And on the 90 plus 10, which was a 100th minute, Richarlison actually had a clear-cut chance which he could have put bottom corner and we could
Mm.
have lost the game.
Yeah.
So we were lucky that we actually didn't end up losing the game. And as you pointed out, Saka and in my opinion, Saka and Odegaard were missing in the second half. Like they were successfully marked by, the Tottenham players. They nullified their threat and they kept passing the ball like very comfortably. And they even like broke our play. Like they were like very deliberate in breaking our flow of passes. And I think they came with a plan and they executed it, unfortunately. And for us, we just didn't get out of that second gear. And we didn't, as you said, we missed the chance. We didn't take the game, blow the team away. And like we just gave them a way to come back. And unfortunately, ended up in a 2-2. I mean, I'm disappointed. And we should have closed the game in the first half. But we,
I
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely disappointed, but at the same time, I'm kind of relieved that the game is over. We didn't score. We didn't let another game goal away. Like you mentioned, we were very close to losing.
yes,
I'm very thankful that that never happened. Because to be honest, even after we scored, even after they had all those substitutions, Madison leaving and all those players coming
Son
in,
leaving. Yeah, yeah,
it didn't feel like Arsenal was going to dominate. It never
right.
felt. We dominated the ball, yes, but we never created a lot of chances. Like
Yeah.
all,
It was a
yeah,
side passing which doesn't threat the opponent. Yeah,
and that's the part that I feel Arsenal needs to improve on. And this is a problem that we have in the Emirates, especially because in away games, the other team, regardless of how defensive block they need to be, they have to come out. Their supporters are not going to let them just be defensive all the time.
yeah,
And in Arsenal's case, Arsenal has to dominate the ball. Like
right,
they
right.
and Spurs were defensive, like pretty much the entire game they were defensive. Only brief period of time when they were able to spring a
Counter.
counter.
They were playing on the counter basically, just running Kulusevski and then the other winger, I think he got injured and he got subbed. They
Yeah.
were but their ball retention was very, very good actually. They didn't let Martin Odegaard. I barely remember Martin Odegaard even stringing like 4 or 5 passes in the second
Mm,
half. First half, he had a couple of good chances. Second half, he had only one chance where he took a shot, hit the keeper. And
mm,
Saka even had a second chance, like a chance bottom corner. The keeper saved it. But apart from those few chances and the penalty itself, we actually didn't threat them either. Like that's the scary part. Nelson was good, and I felt one substitution which could have been a little sooner was Emil Smith Rowe because Saka was, I don't know whether he was injured or like I could have bought Smith Rowe maybe 90th minute. Like he could have gotten a 10-minute cameo because that was way too late. 96th minute, like he didn't have chance to do anything, unfortunately. So I feel like Arteta could have made those subs a little early, given Smith Rowe a little bit more time because he was good. He was really good at the other game as well when he came on. He deserved a better, like, like a run of, like a little bit more time. But let's see. I mean, I'm eager to see Arteta's interview to see, like the extent of injuries. EFL Cup, I'm not too worried on Wednesday, but I'm definitely worried about the Man City game ahead. So I hope I didn't hear anything about Trossard. What did you hear anything like on what his injury or extent was or like
I have no idea. I mean, I haven't even checked my uh, feeds from other
Yeah,
websites to see what caused Trossard to miss the game, but it seemed like he was missing from the Arsenal's pictures. Yes, he was in the training video, but not in the pictures. So
right,
it it seems like he has some sort of a niggle that came from the PSV game. So maybe
right.
that's why. Yeah, I although the what is it Brentford game, PFL game is not huge. I'm hopeful that we'll get some changes. We'll have maybe Tomiyasu, Kivio get some game time. Uh, Obviously Ramsdale on goal.
Right.
Uh, Maybe Emil Smith Rowe and
Nelson, Smith Rowe, everyone getting a little bit of game
yeah, guys.
time
Yeah, so
and
we'll
play all the other kids. I would rather like give these guys a rest. I think two players at least I would hope that it's not a long-term injury is one Trossard, two Rice, and I think three. I feel today I actually since Rice was there, we never missed Partey. But I feel today when Rice was missing, we missed Partey, right? We missed Partey's, ball distribution, his defensive tackles and things like that. That was a very big miss, I felt. And he shows up in big games. Like he's very good in those games. And I think today we missed him. So hopefully Partey, Rice, and Trossard don't have a long-term injury and they're at least coming back for the City game. I think we need them. Otherwise, City are
yeah,
going to dominate us, unfortunately. Hoping for the best. Underwhelming, to be very honest. Gave away goals. Um, that's my summary today. Underwhelming, threw away the lead, didn't finish the game, and unfortunately, 2-2, dropping points. I would consider this as a defeat. Anytime we draw to know like Tottenham, we take it as a defeat, and Tottenham, as you know, they consider a draw as a win. And I
mm,
feel they behaved like that when they got 2-2. They were like celebrating as if they won the league or something.
mm,
It was,
yeah, yeah,
but but I think I would leave it at that. If you want to add a closing comment, and then we can come back for the
yeah,
next game. Yeah,
yeah. I think I would. I mean, the next games obviously we have this EFL game and then the Premier League game with Bournemouth coming in. I just want to touch that it is possible that Arsenal can do well. Like for teams like PSV who came in and they wanted to attack, Arsenal were able to get 4 goals. Even in the Emirates, if there are teams who are willing to attack us, we have the capability to get the goals back.
yeah,
If there are defensive blocks, we need to have proper ideas, more training. I think it would be, it is too soon, obviously, to say that, yeah, we need another striker, maybe, and even Ivan Tony or whoever it is in
yeah,
January, because it didn't seem at any point that Nketiah was
yeah,
able to hold that. And second, Jesus, even regardless of how well he holds the ball and plays around the ball, he's not a good finisher. So I
yeah,
would, again, it is too soon to say. It's October.
yeah,
We have 3, 4 months until January, 2 months until January to
yeah.
get striker. But that is something that I would want to see something between now and January, that we have goals from other areas also, and maybe we'll be able to get through games quick.
100%. That's a great assessment. I mean, we sorely miss a big striker. Like we miss Aubameyang. I mean, like apart from his behavioral, issues, etc., his goals, his presence in the box during corners, I think those things we definitely miss. And I'm shocked that we let go of Lacazette and Aubameyang, and we have two strikers who are very similar. We don't have any variation. Like yeah, like Nketiah and like Jesus are very similar, and we don't have a third option. Like we don't have something different. So the opposition defenders, and plus they're not like too big. Like they can be like they can easily be bullied. So I think that's something that we didn't address. I think we discussed it in the first few games. We should have signed a striker. Maybe Arsenal have a plan, as you said, in December, because we signed Aubameyang also in the January window. Maybe they have something up their sleeve. but I don't want us to be so behind. I mean, like right now, if you look at the table, it's City with 18, Liverpool have got 5 wins out of 6, and they're 16. Brighton have got 5 wins, 1 loss, so they're at 15. Tottenham next on 14. We are also on 14, but Tottenham have a superior goal difference. So I think we are not scoring as many goals. Like, City have 16 goals, we have only 11 goals. So like they've gotten that big goal difference already. But early season, but again, we shouldn't be falling behind so bad that it's too hard to catch up. And then we are like, oh, it's a top four again, right? Our
Yeah,
expectations are high, and I think we need to hopefully the club realizes that these things need to be addressed. So
yeah,
that I think let's give our fans the Sunday to recover. I think we all need this,
yeah,
unfortunately, to recover. I've used this word unfortunately a lot today, and I think that's the definition of today's game. Great talking to you again, discussing this out, and hopefully we have a positive result next weekend. Looking forward to that. So
yeah,
talk to you all soon. Thanks for sharing your Gooner vibe today, Arun. Today has been a little mellow, but hey, it happens. We can always not be celebrating wins.
yeah,
We have to say, address draws and defeats as well. So
yeah.
thanks everyone for watching, and hope to see you guys soon next week.
Thank you, Varun.
Thank you, Arun, so much for your time. Yeah, bye.